Hello and welcome back to the podcast. This is Gameflix and Chill. This is your podcast covering gaming, movies, pretty much anything we want to talk about here, music. It's Nerd Central over here. I am Nick. This is Dante. Today we are going to be covering the new Twitch terms of service updates. Um, Topless streamers, topless metas over on Twitch. I didn't know. I don't think I can take advantage of that, but hey, shout out to those who are. The ESA has officially announced that E3 is dead. I mean, it's been on life support for a while now, and I guess it's official. E3 is no more. And our last topic that we're going to cover is Naughty Dog canceling the Last of Us Online game. I didn't know there was one. Well, start off, I guess. How was your week? How was it?
It was a week, yeah.
It was out of all the weeks, it was a week.
It was one of them.
Yeah, I feel you, dude. We got a lot of stuff going on at work, so yeah, like all my YouTube stuff, my Twitch stuff is just kind of taking a back seat. So I'm just chilling. But I actually, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I really enjoy doing this. Like I enjoy this podcast. I enjoy just bullshit, and I don't care how many viewers we get. I just enjoy doing this. So, but yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it. There's a new Twitch terms of service updates. So basically, what prompted all of this is in the past, Twitch has kind of been not very open on what's allowed to be on their service. You know, what you're allowed to stream, and they've kind of used that as, like a, I want to say like a weapon to a way to weaponize banning people that don't follow exactly what they want. But basically, for those who don't know, there's been this meta on Twitch for a while where women, well, I'm sure some men try to do it too, but they frame themselves in a way where it exposes their cleavage and upper part of their neck and shoulders, and they appear to be topless. Now, I have some thoughts on this, but it's been kind of sweeping the entirety of Twitch for the past, I guess, week now. There was a content creator named Morg Pie Online who is a Twitch streamer, an OnlyFans content creator, as well as the website that you go into on incognito mode that's orange and black and has the funny drum beat. So I guess she got banned, and their reasoning for that was off-camera boob. So once again, Twitch kind of being who they are, very kind of non-specific on how, like, what is allowed. She got banned. Not that I disagree with the ban, but I don't entirely agree with it either. Like, if you're not going to tell your streamers, not going to tell your content creators what they are allowed to do, I mean, how can you fault her for exploiting that system? So I guess where we go from here is a few days after the ban. I believe her ban was lifted. Twitch kind of came out with this terms of service update that allowed people to be create art, we'll call it, that allowed nudity and stuff like body art. Like, people will donate or subscribe, and they were allowed to then, like, streamers were then like writing their name on their body with like a body marker, I guess. I don't know. This is the deep dark spot of Twitch that I generally don't go to. They also said that things that are allowed to be on Twitch consist of strip teases, twerking, grinding, pole dancing, like I said, nude artwork. So for a few days, the entire homepage was infested with people drawing big titty anime girls and nude furries, which is just a weird thing to do, man. Like if you're gonna make that artwork, I mean, there's such thing as tasteful artwork, right? Tasteful nudity in art. I just don't know if this is the place for that. As well as allowing all of these things, that no one is allowed to be, no human person, no streamer, content creator is allowed to be nude on stream. But if you were doing any of the above that I mentioned, you have to add a sexual label to the stream. And anything with that sexual label would then not be allowed on the homepage of Twitch if you were to like log in on a fresh account or like an incognito tab. Upon all of this, the changes were immediately reverted. The nude artwork is no longer allowed to be on Twitch. You're no longer allowed to stream that type of content. However, strip teases, twerking, grinding, and pole dancing is all still allowed. That's the topic.
I don't even know what to say about it, because I get it on one end, because as a company, an image like Twitch's image already sucks.
Right.
So I mean, they need to stop caring, but not stop caring, because all these content creators doing this, not safe for work stuff, they're still generating money for Twitch,
Right.
and it's probably a fair amount.
Oh yeah.
Everyone on Twitch is basically a degenerate.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not gonna disagree with that.
So I mean, as a company standpoint, they're losing money by doing certain things. But at the same time, as like on a personal level, I can get why they want to hide that stuff away. They don't want however the population of kids are on it, but
like from a moral standpoint, like they still have to, even though they're a company, even though that they have shareholders that they need to impress, appease, whatever the word you want to say. I mean, what level of personal accountability or corporate accountability do they have for this? I don't know. My thing is, Twitch is labeled by their own standards a 13 plus website. So you need to be minimum 13 years old, and they have no age verification service to verify that you are of age. That being said, yes, of course, I do agree. Parents should be taking an interest in what their children are consuming online. My father did. He, I was in a cyber nanny home. There were websites I couldn't get to, and I don't know. It was a different generation. Look at what Twitch was 10 years ago. Look at it now. It's completely different landscape. Your biggest category on Twitch right now is just chatting. I'm not going to say that I fault the content creators at all. If anything, I fault Twitch for allowing their guidelines. Sorry, I just had a hiccup. Allowing their guidelines to be so
manipulated.
I don't even know if manipulated is the right word. Gray area. There's just too big of a gray area. And I want what's best for not only Twitch, but the viewers, and I want to be able to protect the younger kids who might stumble upon this on accident, or the kids that are going and looking for it and probably, quite frankly, shouldn't be. I'm okay with, like I said before, there's a difference between like a tasteful nudity in artwork. Biggest example was Titanic. Like, okay, we'll talk about that movie real quick. I know you love that movie. I think it's one of the best movies possibly ever made. For those of you who have been living under under a rock for the last 20 years, almost 30. Wow. Uh, there's a scene in that movie, Titanic, where Kate Winslet poses nude for a drawing. And paint, draw me like one of your French girls. Exactly, right? And you and I watched that as an adult, and we understand that. But when we were like 7, 8, 9 years old, all we were thinking of were boobies, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna say it's for art, don't don't hide your porn as a under the guise of artwork, right? So let me ask you this. Do you think Twitch would ever create a service explicitly for this NSFW content?
I think if they're smart, they will.
Yep. And they put some development into creating a very effective yet comprehensive age verification where you need to show ID, something like that. That way you can create an account on that, and then you can use essentially Twitch for adults, right?
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do that, and then funnel all of your content creators over to that website if that's the type of content that they would want to do. In the content creators out there that are faithfully making artwork that is, like I said, tasteful, human depictions of artwork that are over on Twitch, hey, kudos to you. I'm sure you guys did nothing wrong. It is the people who probably went a little too far with it that created this change in the backlash of the community, I guess. That's what I want to say. I just think that it should be separated. And I say that as someone who I have my little sister is I'm 15 years older than her, so she's at the age requirement for Twitch, and that kind of scares me a little bit, having her in on Twitch when all this is kind of happening. My cousin, he's a little bit younger, so it's like I don't know that I would want him watching Twitch if this is the way it's going to be dominated. Let me ask you this. Why do you think they reverted the changes as quickly as they did?
I'm going to go with a very nice take and say they don't even know why they did it.
You know what? I agree with that take. I don't even think they knew that they made the changes. I think someone in there's
two teams there. That one said this, and then the other team was working on this one, but this team had slightly more important people on it. So this one got pushed right after this one did, and neither of them knew a clue.
Yeah. You know what? That honestly, the way Twitch is kind of seeming to be heading, that seems like a more likely answer. I have a little bit more of besides community backlash. I won't get into the whole male versus female thing. Like, listen, ladies, if you want to shake it, go ahead, shake it. I don't care. Just maybe don't shake it on Twitch. Like, maybe not the best place to do that. But I'll say the most logical answer is they got a lot of pushback from advertisers. I'm going to say that advertisers were threatening to pull because I don't know who's advertising on Twitch right now. Probably like Elgato or Corsair. Willing to bet they said, "Hey, you just pushed me onto a streamer that is standing there appearing to be topless and that doesn't necessarily line up with our brand and moral ideals as a company. So they threatened to pull. So they probably they reverted them within like a number of days. Like I think it was less than 36 hours. So I don't know. Like I said, you want to shake it? In the words of Moist Critical, if you want to let them thangs be thangin', do it. I don't care. That's your business. Just maybe Twitch isn't the website that you should be on doing that. Yeah, I don't know, dude. 2023, almost 2024. It's wild. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, not really. I mean, I knew at some point inevitable something like this. I mean, we went from streaming and then a bunch of streaming with cleavage and things like that to hot tub streams. Like, I knew it was slowly going to devolve more and more.
Yeah.
And at this point, bringing it back, their safest option would be to create that separate Twitch for adults. Make the ground rules straight up facts. You can do this on here, but if you try and do it on the main, you're just banned.
Yep.
No bringing it back, no repealing it. If you do it on here, you're banned. We made this separate platform for you to do it.
Yep. And I think that's the best course of action. The best way that they can do that, you know, and look at the market. I mean, you have websites like OnlyFans, Fansly, and you know other websites that content is readily available. But I'm sure there's some other more degenerate websites that content is available. But yeah, just separate it. I mean, with a company like Amazon or Amazon owns Twitch. With a company like that, I mean, you have the capital. You could really dominate that market if you made it. I don't want to say mainstream, but like you know how to streamline the process. You have the back end for it. Just separate it in comprehensive age verification system, and you're good to go. I just think it's get into it a little bit. Streaming has just changed so much, you know, and I was a big YouTube stream watcher and YouTube video watcher, and the changes even over on the YouTube side of things are insane. But in the last 10 years, we went from Twitch being primarily a video game streaming platform to just chatting to artwork, numerous different categories on Twitch, hot tub streams, and now this. I just think maybe it's within the company's best interest to try to like get back to those roots, separate them, and go from there. Alrighty. Well, I think we covered everything we needed to cover in that. Our next topic is E3. So ESA, which is the company that had been putting on E3 for decades. I believe the first one was in 1993. This is not sourced, so don't quote me on that. Has officially pulled the plug on E3. The last one happened pre-COVID in 2019. That was the last in-person one. They canceled it in 2020 due to the pandemic, and they planned for a return this past year, which they announced a few things, and then it just kind of never went anywhere. And oh yeah, they did have an online-only event in 2021. And it cites the reason for ending the convention as essentially what Nintendo does. They do a Nintendo Direct Xbox showcase. PlayStation kind of does the same thing. So everyone, all of these different brands kind of created their own events, their own live streams. With the internet being the way it is, it's just a lot easier. No one was bringing, even the last few that they had, no one was bringing new games out at E3. It was almost like it was already dying. So, just a shame because I always remembered, like I said, as a kid growing up watching YouTube videos of recaps from E3, like the cool announcements that they would have. It was like it was one of those events in gaming that was insane and a little bittersweet. Do you have any fond memories of E3?
I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember anything of it. I thought it had died prior to the pandemic.
I I think, like I said, it has been on life support for a while, and with like the game awards and the streamer awards and shit, where in Xbox Showcase and PlayStation Showcase and all of these other events, like I've started watching all of those other events prior to E3 even being canceled. So I don't recall anything within the last 5 years that got revealed at an E3 event. But I just remember like not streamers at the time, like it wasn't what it is now, but like YouTubers would go there and just make, you'd have someone on the flip phone recording like a screen with a live reveal, and it was just super cool way of experiencing new releases and new announcements. I just It's a little, like I said, a little bit bittersweet to see that go away, but I mean, the industry already moved so far away from that. Understandable why it's gone now. But yeah, like I said, that they were planning on a big return for this year, but I even remember they did make like an announcement poster, and it just said E3 on it, and then it's weird. It's like I forgot that they did it until this article came out, and 2023 is almost over, and clearly it didn't happen. All right. That was our boring topic for tonight, but I just figured it was a fun mention. If anybody out there has any fond memories of E3, please check out our YouTube and leave a comment down there. Tell us about it. Maybe there was an awesome reveal that you remember and it was very impactful for you, and be cool to hear about that. All right, our last topic. Naughty Dogs, the creators of The Last of Us, have canceled The Last of Us online game. The game started development in 2020 with expected release in 2022 and was ultimately delayed and eventually canceled. The game was supposed to be an extension of the factions from, I believe, the original first two games. It was supposed to be set in San Francisco, and the storytelling was going to be, allegedly, this is not confirmed information, but storytelling was going to be told through seasonal updates. However, like I said, their methods on how they were going to do that still remained undisclosed. There was even in concept art, there were characters that were, I guess, made their rounds, and third person BR was supposed to be in this game. I don't know. Have you ever played a Last of Us video game?
I played the first one.
I never got the opportunity to. But Justice, my roommate, loves them. And I made him a deal that if he played Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, I'd play The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. And he still has not played Resident Evil 7 and 8. but I'm probably still gonna play The Last of Us anyway. I hear it's an amazing game.
It's a good game series, but I could see why they canceled their big online version of it because I mean, I'm gonna say about 6 times out of 10, if you try and do quote unquote an extension to an online version of a game, it does like it, especially because of how story based The Last of Us is. That having that online extension just it doesn't necessarily work out because it doesn't add anything to the story
It
you've
doesn't
been following.
enrich the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what is that? The game that just came out that everybody hated the day before, or whatever it is, supposed to be an open world zombie thing, and it ended up tanking to the point where it was live and you could buy it for 3 days, and then on that fourth day, the game was they shut down the servers and like were issuing refunds to everyone.
Really? I didn't hear about
Yeah,
that.
it was within a week the game was launched. People played it. The game was just ended, deleted.
Huh. Yeah, I honestly hadn't really paid attention to that. It sounds kind of similar to what I guess this game was supposed to be then, more of like an open world online, always online experience. Naughty Dogs came out and did say that the reason for their cancellation was, and I quote, I totally forgot to bookmark the source for this, so I do apologize, but I am quoting this article. A choice between becoming an active service game studio or focusing and prioritizing their legacy or focusing on and prioritizing their legacy of single player games. And the decision was made to prevent resource divergence. So didn't really want to split the team up to work on, I guess, so I'm assuming part 3's in the works. Didn't really want to split the team up and split those resources up. And I think that's pretty cool of them, you know. Kind of take a draw a line in the sand and take your stance. You know, our game, just straight up saying, you know, our game does not need to be a live service game. Which brings me to my next question for you. Do games currently need to be live service models in order to succeed? And I know your answer, but I just want to hear you say it.
Depends. It really depends on the genre and which faction or group of people, your fans, which one of those groups is the biggest. Because if you have enough fans in your category, no, it does not need online capability. But the trickle down effect from that is every other game to stay relevant requires online play in some sort of degree. The only games that have transcended gaming history have been Grand Theft Auto and Skyrim. And the only reason Grand Theft Auto is still because, well, it's the only Grand Theft Auto we have.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto Online and I'll say Fortnite as a live service. I'd throw Fortnite in the ring, and only because of how much crap they're putting out.
True.
Like in the span of a month, Fortnite comes out and says, "Hey, we're going back to OG map." Gets all their players back. Drops a new season. Drops well, they already had creative. Drops their Lego Fortnite thing, which is essentially like Minecraft. Huge partnership with Lego, like that's crazy in and of itself. And then oh, there's something else they just dropped too.
They dropped I believe there's some sort of like it's their version of like a I don't want to necessarily say Guitar Hero, but maybe more
That's
like
right.
a rock band.
And a racing game.
Yeah, and a racing game with cars that look oddly specific to Rocket League, but hey.
I mean, and that's just like, dude, they're like, this team is just putting shit out there and seeing what sticks, and like all of it's sticking. And I can imagine that someone over at fucking Fortnite is sitting there like, man, we don't really have the budget to keep all these servers up. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. This is all successful, and that is so cool. Like, it is so cool to see a company out there. I mean, is it for children? Yeah. Like, Fortnite, very much not my style of game. But to see a development company, a team, whatever, a publisher out there just going above and beyond for their fans, it's such a damn cool thing. And that's why they're probably one of the best live service games out there right now.
Like, it's wild to me to think they got the right to have Peter Griffin as a playable skin.
Dude, like, the amount of things that Fortnite has done just blows my mind. Not to mention, like, all of this stuff that we just said. But I mean, name another game where you can play as Master Chief, Peter Griffin, John Wick, and Darth Vader all in one IP. Yeah, they probably pay for that trademark, but like, I mean, Christ, the one Star Wars movie got revealed in a live Fortnite event. They had a fucking Eminem, a fucking Eminem concert. And it just they just do everything right. I'm not saying they don't have missteps. They do. The mechs were fucking awful. That was when I quit playing Fortnite. Not that I played a whole lot to begin with, but they're just doing so much, and I don't think, like I said, I don't think every game needs to be a live service game. I don't. I think there are games out there that are really good at being live service, and there's really games that are really good at being um single player experiences. And some of the best ones are the ones that are capable of being both a live service and a good narrative, having a good narrative. And kind of makes me upset that this got canceled, because I know Naughty Dogs is so damn good at creating a narrative experience.
Yeah.
But and if there was a game that could really um sit on the fence and dip their toes in both the hot tub and the pool and come out dry, I think they were probably the one that could do it. But you have so many games out there that aren't Fortnite doing live service experiences. I mean, can't go on a podcast without talking about Call of Duty, right? This is possibly the most live service year we've ever gotten. And it just seems like we constantly are asking for things and then getting something else in return, as far as being a Call of Duty fan. And you mentioned that the day before, like, clearly a game designed to be a live service game that just didn't have enough of the narrative, didn't have enough of the good storytelling to succeed. One game that I would love to see truly be like a live service, more like a open world live service RPG, would be something like a Knights of the Old Republic online. Get back into the Star Wars thing. Like, if Respawn could do the way that as good as they do it, narrating their like their Jedi Survivor games, and with the backing of EA, being able to create a true open world RPG. You pick your faction, you pick Like, are you? I mean, everybody would just go in as Jedi and Sith, but say you could just create a character and go in as become a stormtrooper. Not necessarily a role playing game or like a role play, but like a create a character and play through the story like a Skyrim, but online you're playing it with other players. I think it would be really cool, and there's a universe that it would fit well in, and that would be Star Wars.
I could see that. That would be exceptional.
There was there was a game similar to that. I can't remember the name of it, but like it took place before episode 4 and after episode 3 where like you were a Jedi but you had to remain hidden. Like if you went into open combat with a lightsaber, like everyone would attack you, like all the NPCs, everyone. I can't remember what the name of it was.
Hmm.
Doesn't
Yeah, that sounds.
necessarily need to be set in that time period. They can do whatever the hell they want, which is why I say KOTOR, like Knights of the Old Republic, be the perfect time period to have that like a game like that set up with, where the Sith were kind of at arguably their height, the Jedi were arguably maybe not quite their height, but there was still an abundance of both. It would fit narratively.
True.
I just think that there are more games out there that need to be able to handle being a live service and not get greedy with the cash grabs and create a good narrative while doing it. And there's very few out there that can do it. But I don't know. If you had to pick like a live service game that you truly think is the most successful that isn't Fortnite, what's your pick? And I swear to God, if you say Fallout 76, I'm driving to your house. I don't. You'd say it for the memes, but I don't think you even in your heart admit that that's a good online experience.
Trust me, you saying that it already went like it's gone. It's way out there. It's somewhere. It's doing its own thing. It's starting a 401k. Maybe not. Uh, no, if I had to say, based off of, I I'd go with Apex.
Okay.
Like they've always just kind of been like they started out this, they've been this. They changed some stuff around, but I have to say there's always something new. It may not be on the scale of Fortnite, but when we're talking like in its own category, Apex has been one of the most successful things.
So, yeah.
You mean
Like
you don't really
franchise.
hear about it until boom, hey, new character, new map, whatever. They're not out here like they have their player base. Yeah, of course they gradually gain more, they lose some, but naturally over time, I feel like they've had the most stable incline overall.
They found a way to say, okay, our player base is going like this. Instead of it curving back down. And for the audio listener, I'm making a ramp with my hand. Okay, they had an incline in player bases, and instead of it curving back down, of course it's gonna slowly curve down a little bit, but they found a way to plateau that. They found a way to keep
Yeah,
their player base. And I'm not an Apex player. I know that if Justice heard me say this, he'd probably be pissed. But they found a way to keep their player base happy enough to stick around and oh, smacked my mic and create new content for them. I would agree. I think that Apex is a good pick. For me, like I said, it can't be Fortnite. Uh, Obvious answer would be GTA, but Christ, that game is so old now. Like I don't even know how many active players they would have. But the people that are on it are dedicated, and they added from when that game launched. I mean, they added heists, they added different like sub game modes that exist in the same server that you load into. Talked about RP. I mean, there's just so much in that sandbox. I smacked my mic again. What the fuck is wrong with me? There's so much in that sandbox that they can do. So I think GTA would probably be the one. That would at least be my pick. I mean, look at a game that's kind of near and dear to I maybe not near and dear, but I'll say two. Dead by Daylight. You know, we love to hate that game, but the game died for the longest time, and now there's a still a very dedicated player base, and yeah, they have some stumbles just like everybody else, but I don't think it's I don't think any of those are on a narrative level that Naughty Dogs was supposed to be creating with their Last of Us game. Um, and the other one I guess would be Texas Chainsaw. You know, similar to Dead by Daylight, but live service games that seem to actually know what the hell they're doing. Like I said, maybe not as strong narratively, but they do well enough. Fortnite though it's on top, and I've been saying it for the longest time now. I want a game that says this is gonna be funny. I want a game to do what Fallout 76 said it was gonna do. An online experience that you can play with your by yourself or with your friends that tells a good story. And every season you get an update that tells another good story. Hey, dude, you know what? I just thought of one. World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, new expansion packs all the time. Then they release, like remasters of their old expansion packs that, have new content in them. I mean, I know that player base is not to offend anybody, but completely mouth breathers. But and I'm sure they hate the game just as much as I hate Call of Duty and you hate Smite.
Hey,
I'm just
that's
saying.
I don't like to hear. Smite's a good game. I love it.
You also want the servers to go down and never come back up.
There hasn't been a more. Talk about one thing. All right, with the community we all collectively had a goal. None of us talked to each other. It wasn't a thing. It was just one day, all of our single brain cells came together. However many of us there are, we still don't know. It could be the same 5 people we play with for 6 hours we play it. We don't know. We all collectively decided without talking to each other, we don't want this game to be alive. But we can't let it die.
You're the ones keeping it alive, but because you won't let it die. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's very few games out there that create a good narrative and a multiplayer experience. And it saddens me to see this go, and we kind of got into a much larger conversation about this, but ultimately, like, there's very few that can do this properly. And I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily mean from a multiplayer standpoint. I mean from like exactly what I said before. do what Fallout 76 said it was going to do. Give you an RPG style game, an open world game that has a lot of other shit to do in it. And I think to circle back around, I think Grand Theft Auto probably did the best at that, even though I have no clue what's going on in that game at any time. But yeah. Anything quick you wanted to talk about, before we wrap it up?
No.
Alrighty. Well, you know what? Next episode, I think I'm gonna have you pick topics because I want a little break. I want to see what you want to do. For the audio listener, you know what? We should do that idea.
Yeah, that idea?
Yes. Where
Okay.
you explain them to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
For the audio listeners and those watching the YouTube video, we've had this idea. Dante likes anime. I'm not a big fan. I have not found a single anime that, I feel like I want to invest my time into. So we want to do this thing. It can be like a short podcast, but I think it can be really funny. Where he's going to explain or give me the title of an anime, and I have to explain what I think the anime is about. And I just think it's going to be really funny. And then we want to do another one where I'm a big COD Zombies fan. So I've played every single COD Zombies game that has ever came out. I've done all but one of the Easter eggs on every single game. What I want to do is read him the storyline, because Dante is very much a Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 lover. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh, okay. Obviously.
So I want to explain like both realms, like the story from this point, World at War to Black Ops 2, or I'd say the first half of Black Ops 2, and then from Black Ops 2 to like Black Ops Cold War. And I just think that would be like, I think that would just be funny, because you'd be sitting here like, what? In the same way that I'd be explaining, trying to explain the anime shit. I think that would be funny. It's an idea. Little idea.
Yeah.
But that's assuming that we don't have anything crazy happen in the gaming or movie sphere. Man, I don't. When was the last time you went to the movies?
I don't know. I have $150 gift cards for the movies, and I think we've had the same ones for 6 years and still haven't used them.
I know, me personally, I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. But oh no, that's not true. I went and saw Oppenheimer. Did you see Oppenheimer?
I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
Very, very good. I actually think that you would really enjoy it.
Bro, I wonder what it's about.
I don't know, dude. There's a big boomer. Big boomer. Yeah, I think we should do a podcast after. Let's say we do the anime idea and maybe the COD Zombies. Try to do that maybe like one podcast just for shits and giggles. Just have fun with it. And maybe do another one where we like talk about and maybe debate like if we were to pick our number one movie of all time and our number one film of all time. Because like I don't know about you, but I rate films differently than movies.
No, I could see that.
Like, I would say like Iron Man is a movie, but The Wolf of Wall Street is a film.
No, I can see that correlation.
Yeah. But yeah, some ideas. So for all the listeners, keep posted out there, and follow us on YouTube and Spotify, and follow us at our socials. I am on YouTube at Dr. Blunts, and he's on YouTube at Vortex Hawkeyes. Follow me on Twitch. I stream over there whenever I feel like it. Although I did say it was going to be about 4 days a week, but yeah, things have happened and I haven't been doing that. But yeah, all of those links are going to be down in the YouTube description. Do you? I know we're bullshitting at this point, but is there like a bio on Spotify? Dante handles the Spotify. I handle the YouTube things.
Not really.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, obviously, when it comes down to it, I always can link the YouTube video in the Spotify. So it's one or the other. If you click on it, you either watch the video or you're clicking on it and listening to it. So
all right. We'll talk more about that later. Right now, we got a lobby full of guys that want to play Search and Destroy. So we're gonna wrap it here, and this will be live Monday morning. Our next podcast will be we're gonna record the day before Christmas Eve. You want to do that? Put a Christmas podcast on? Or do you want to take a break?
Yeah. No, I'm done. I'm off that day, so it works out for me.
Perfect. I'm off. I'm off on Friday. So whatever. All right. Well, to those of you who are out there, I appreciate y'all listening. Like I said, check out our socials down in the link below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, we'll figure something out for you. This has been Gameflix and Chill.